Hey everybody, it's Linnea, and today's video is all about the new ThermOWeb Deco Foil Unity Toner card fronts. There are 5 new holiday and winter designs in the Unity Toner card fronts line from ThermOWeb. Today I will be making a card with each of the 5 designs just to show each of them in action. So this first one is the Ornate Ornaments design that has 3 of those big baubles. So amazing. This one's one of my favorites. Snow Many Flakes. Look at the intricate details in these snowflakes. Absolutely a gorgeous pattern. This next one here is called Holiday Lights, and I think it would be super fun to use different colors of foil on each of those lights and really have a multicolored foiled background. This one's another one of my favorites, Gifts Aplenty. And again, how fun would it be to foil each of these gifts in a different color? And I love that with this one, you can have this going any direction you want. The last one is Flurry Forest. I love these trees and just that little bit of flurrying snow falling down from the top of this card panel. So let's get started. I'm going to be using each of these 5 Unity Toner card fronts to make 5 cards. I'm going to be using 3 different coloring techniques. I'll be using Copic markers, ink blending, and watercoloring. I'm going to be adding my colored medias before I add my foil onto the toner card front. You can absolutely add your foil first and then color over it. I prefer to color first. That way I can color right over these black toner lines and not worry about coloring over the foil. Sometimes when you color over the foil, you can actually discolor the foil a little bit, so I find that it's more convenient for my messy crafting life to color before I add the foil. So for this first card, I just have 4 colors of Copic markers, and I'm going to very quickly and easily do a non-traditional color palette. I feel like mint and pink is very in this year, so I'm coloring right over these trees, and this is the Flurry Forest Unity Toner card front, coloring right over that design with my Copic markers. I'm going to stick with those same 4 Copic markers for my second card here, and this one is the Ornate Ornaments card front, or toner card front rather. Again, coloring right over. Now you're going to find when you are working with these that they have a different feel from normal cardstock. They kind of feel glossy or coated. And so you may think that a lot of your coloring medias won't work for this. That's why I decided to do 3 different ways of adding color so you can see that really these toner card fronts are so versatile. I had no problem at all using any of the coloring medias that I did today. Copic markers blended super easily. It's almost like that textured coating helps the markers to blend. It's really amazing. So here we go with my third background, moving right along here. This one is called Snow Many Flakes, one of my absolute favorites. I think it would be so fun to kind of cut out the center of this and make this into a shaker card. I'm going to just be keeping all of my card designs simple. That way you can really see the full effect of all 5 of these. So I'm using some shimmer watercolors. Any kind of watercolors will work on these Unity Toner card fronts. You can even just use your dye inks and add water to them. I'm using shimmer watercolors today. I have been addicted to shimmer watercolors lately, and I thought the shimmer watercolors would look really nice with the foils I'm going to be using. Now you will get a little bit of warping when you add water because it's not a watercolor cardstock, but that's okay. I just set my panel aside to dry. It took maybe about 15-20 minutes, and I worked on the rest of my ink blended panels while that dried, and then I'll give you some tips and tricks to flatten that in just a minute. Okay, so for my last 2 Unity Toner card fronts, I'm going to be adding some ink. I wanted to create a rainbow Christmas card. I always tend to make at least a few rainbow Christmas cards. I think it's kind of a non-classical take on Christmas cards, but I really like it. So I'm just using some dye inks on this card and just going around and blending from the outside into the center and adding a different color to each one of those gifts on the Gifts Aplenty Unity Toner card front. Now I kind of got a little heavy-handed with my navy blue, but that's okay. Like I mentioned before, these Unity Toner card fronts have like a slick coating on the top. So I'm able to easily go over this with more ink and blend that out. Now when I do ink blending, I like to take a cloth and just wipe off the ink because sometimes I feel like ink may sit on top of this coated panel. Might not, might just be in my head, but when I'm doing ink blending, I just wipe it off. There's no harm in doing that. So for this last card panel, this one is the Holiday Lights Unity Toner card front. I'm using a different style of ink. These are hybrid inks that I'm using here. I just wanted to show you that pretty much whatever you have in your stash, in your craft collection, you're going to be able to use it with these Unity Toner card fronts. So just taking a gradient of red inks here, and I'm going to blend this starting with dark at the bottom and going up to light at the top. So here are all 5 of my Unity Toner card fronts all ready to go. They're all colored. Now this is my watercolored one, and you can see that that water kind of warped my panel. That's no problem. We're going to be running these through the laminator, and the heat is going to flatten out your card front. I use the heat from my laminator a lot of times to flatten out watercolor cardstock, so it's going to work to transfer the foil as well as to flatten that for this, kind of like a bonus. I have a few different colors of foil here. I am starting with the Silver Stars, and I'm going to lay the toner card sheets. You want the toner to make contact with the reverse side of the foil. So if you're looking at it, it should be pretty side of foil, and then your Unity Toner card front also facing up. If you're going upside down like I am, they should both be upside down. So basically the same direction. If you're having the fronts coming up or the fronts going down, you want the toner to contact the back of the foil. I did this with all of my colors of foil. Here's my first one, the Silver Stars, on this Holiday Lights background. So gorgeous. I went with the Silver Stars here because there was a lot of surface area on those lights that I thought would be absolutely stunning. Here's the difference in 2 foils that I used. Silver is on the left, iridescent is on the right. They look similar in the tube, but they are totally different looks, so I thought I would kind of show that off as well. This is the Gifts Aplenty Unity Toner card front with the silver foil. And then this one is the iridescent foil with the Snow Many Flakes toner card front. So pretty. It's like that mirrored effect with this iridescent foil. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. And that laminator, the heat from the laminator rather, completely flattened that card panel. My last 2 toner card fronts are going to use the gold foil. And I wanted to show you, don't throw away your background pieces from your foil because they would make absolutely great just card fronts just on their own, especially this one. Look at it, so pretty. So these last 2, the Ornate Ornaments and the Flurry Forest, I used the gold Deco foil transfer sheets. So 4 different kinds of foil for 5 different card fronts. Use whatever color foils you have. I kind of went classic with my silver and gold colors for the foil, but you can go crazy. You can do your rainbow foils, your greens, reds, pinks, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and finish off these cards into full completed projects. I am using the Unity Stamps Glimmering Greetings stamp set. Now I wanted to show you, in case you haven't worked with their red rubber stamps before, they kind of come in this one, not really a sheet, but they're kind of connected. All I do is just bend them apart, and if you find that they're not breaking apart completely, I just take my scissors and snip into one of the ends, and then they just kind of fall right out into your hand. Totally easy to use. I'm going to be using my Misty to get perfect placement here. I'm going to be heat embossing. I wanted to use some metallic heat embossing on some of these so that that would kind of match the foils. Now it's a different type of look between the metallic heat embossing and the metallic of the foil, but I thought it would make a cohesive project to use some heat embossing. So I'm just going to stamp these sentiments from the Unity Glimmering Greetings stamp set. And for my gold background panels with the gold foil, I'll be using gold heat embossing. A couple of the other cards, I did kind of, I messed up my heat embossing a little bit, so I covered that up with some die cut circles, and I just stamped the sentiments onto my die cuts instead. I'll show you those here. So here's where I used some pieces of silver foil in the background, and this is the iridescent foil on top of that Snow Many Flakes Unity card front. This was one where I messed up my sentiment, so I just stamped it on a circle and covered that up, no problem at all. Here are those ornate ornaments with the gold foil, another gold deco foil And this one is the Flurry Forest, one of my favorites. I think this is such a simple, clean and simple, sleek background. And all of these designs are so easy to make, one layer, clean and simple cards that are going to go through the mail just perfectly. This one is where I used the silver foil on that Gifts Aplenty background. And I didn't stamp my sentiment completely in the center, so I added some flicks of metallic watercolor to help cover up my little boo-boo there. And this last one is the Silver Stars Deco foil transfer sheets on top of those Holiday Lights Unity toner card front. So that's all 5 designs. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again soon. Goodbye.